Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome to Star Codes, where today we're going to look at one of my favorite topics of the year, and that is Jupiter sextile Neptune. This transit is going to sprinkle wonderful blessings onto our lives throughout 2020, and it actually happens on an incredible day, 2/20/2020. That's February 20th, 2020. Only the numbers 2 and the experience 0. 0 isn't a number. It's not even a value, right? It hovers between worlds. So only 2 and 0 are part of the code. And so we're going to go deeply into that code. We're going to look at the meaning of Jupiter sextile Neptune. There's so much to share with you, including tips and takeaways on how to really take advantage of this incredible moment. So Jupiter plays a major role, of course, because Jupiter is in Capricorn. And Capricorn is the big sign that began the year with that big stellium on the 12th of January. It's still going to impact us throughout 2020. So Jupiter's placement in Capricorn is very, very significant. And by the end of 2020, Jupiter will have moved into Aquarius, and I'll be talking about that later in the year because it's such a momentous occasion. And that will signify, due to other stellar events around that time, the beginning of the Aquarian age. So Jupiter is an important planet this year. So how does this code and Jupiter's sextile Neptune impact us? Well, the last time they sextiled each other was in 2011. Now notice the 11 and the 20, because 11 reduces to 2 and 20 for 2020 reduces to 2. So the last time this happened was the beginning, the double new beginnings of the 11, signifying, well, paying attention to listening and your intuition, which is what 11 and 2 are about, is intent listening and the sensitivity to pay attention to your inner voice. That began 9 years ago in 2011, but it only happened once that year, the meeting between the two planets. In 2020, Jupiter and Neptune are sextiling each other 3 times, which is such a wonderful blessing. Jupiter is, of course, the planet of fortune, wisdom, justice, expansion, and Neptune, the planet of dreams, mysticism, unconditional love, compassion, and the connection to everything and everyone. So let's look at the numerology code first, because the 20s and the 2s in the date emphasize bringing energy into equilibrium. 2 is about balance, about harmony, connection between 2 points. So the most important connection being tuning into source, tuning into God, tuning into your guides, listening on that intuitive level. It is about kindness, inspiration, the ability to be so sensitive that you remember that life is sweet. So there's a sweetness to the number 2 and the number 20. Now the date also has to be looked at. The full date, February 20th, 2020, is comprised of 4 2s and 0s. So when you add up the 4 2s, we get a universal date of 8. 8 is the infinity number, and it symbolizes strength and leadership, overcoming obstacles, abundance, implementation, manifestation, having a vision that you, just like 2020 vision, having that vision that you take hold of, step up, and implement. So how does this tie in to the star code? Well, Jupiter in Capricorn is about the same theme, because Capricorn is also about stepping up into leadership and directing your energy towards the process of implementation of whatever intention you have set. So Capricorn and 8 define the overcoming of obstacles that bring successful outcomes. Because you're tuned into the process of implementation, you're not focusing on reaching the goal, meaning you're not focusing on the future, what hasn't happened. You're focusing on the process of taking ownership of moment to moment living. This is the key of the date of Jupiter sextile Neptune, the universal date of 8, and Jupiter in Capricorn. So they remind you that if you really want to manifest, only focus on what will help you succeed. Now, Neptune in Pisces is also mirrored in the code because Pisces is about that inner peace. And 20 and 2, the other numbers, are also about establishing that inner peace, that inner harmony, that intuition, that acute listening. And, Neptune is the spiritual planet. So this is truly a numerology code and astrology code that are merged to birth the first of 3 meetings between these 2 planets. When the astrology and numerology codes are so in sync, we know that the meaning of the meeting throughout the year, the meetups, the 3 meetups, is incredibly potent. So it is important to understand our role in the process itself, meaning it's important to understand your code. Do you have 2s? Do you have 11s? Do you have 8s? Do you have the number 4? Why the number 4? 2, 4, and 8 are in the same triad. There are 3 triads in numerology. So if you have any of those 3 in your birth code, take note because you will be even more impacted. And if you don't, then you want to know what other numbers you have in your star code. You want to know your astrology chart, you want to know your birthday, you want to know your birth name. It's all revealed for you in a free masterclass at starcodeclass.com. So go discover your star code because it's so much fun when you can actually listen and look at what it is your soul brought into being for this lifetime and how it relates to what is going on in the universal planetary codes. So let's look at more closely at Jupiter sextile Neptune and the meaning of that. Basically, because Neptune governs dreams and Jupiter fortunate events, it means your dreams are coming true. Dreams are being fulfilled this year, especially in your professional life, but it is across the board. Why your professional life? Because Capricorn rules, where Jupiter is, Capricorn rules the 10th house of astrology, which is about your public standing, your career. Now, Neptune rules the 12th house, which is about the unseen, the spiritual. It governs psychology, astrology, numerology, everything that is unconscious and wants to be discovered in a spiritual level, meaning you want to dive in and study the, for example, body language of someone or look at what colors they're drawn to. And it's so it's like the unseen messages that you dive into and understand. It also governs things that are hidden. So anything in your life that is impacting you, impacting how you act and think, but you're not seeing it clearly. So that is also being uncovered, and that helps our dreams come true, because if we're operating on something unconsciously, then we're going to create results that are not chosen consciously by us. And I'm going to go more deeply into that when we get to the tips and takeaways, because this is very, very important this year. To be, it's a 4 universal year, 2020. So 4 is about that ability to manifest. And I mentioned the number 4 earlier when I looked at the 248 code. That whole code is activated in this Neptune sextile Jupiter meetup because of the date and because of the universal year of 4. So we want to be aware this year that manifestation, implementation is really being emphasized. And so, you want to be in control of that manifestation process. Now, Jupiter sextile Neptune makes you have that ability to create with joy. So the more you focus on what it is you want to manifest in a joyful way, the greater your achievements will be. Because this is really about rapid personal growth. It's about rapid growth in every part of your life, because Jupiter is about expansion And in a very positive aspect to Neptune, Neptune is about reaching everywhere. Neptune is the water planet. Pisces is a water sign. Neptune governs the oceans. And water is the only element that reaches everywhere. None of the other elements actually can reach into every part of existence. Water is the only one. So water is the element that really defines unconditional love and us being all one. And that's what Pisces stands for. So Pisceans need to create boundaries. That's very important. Jupiter in Capricorn helps us create those boundaries, because Capricorn is, of course, very much about taking the lead. And in order to do that, you need to discard what doesn't work and only pay attention to what is optimally directing you into the direction of your choice, right? Again, the combination is wonderful for balance. We've got it all here. We've got the dream, we've got the joyful implementation of the dream, we've got the positive outcomes that are yours this year. And so now the question becomes, how can you take advantage? Well, we have on the next day, the day after that, Mars trines Uranus. This is very exciting. Also, 3 days later is the Pisces new moon, and Pisces is the sign Neptune rules. So we've got a lot of events in this final 10 days, or is it 9 days? 9 days of February, that are really steering us into a very, very positive direction. So Mars trine Uranus is exciting because it really intensifies your inner genius, your creativity. It intensifies your desire to have fun, and it intensifies your enthusiasm, which of course we all need, that fuel, that energy, that Mars direction. So your intentions can be directed towards wonderful results. And Uranus allows you to think outside the box, to not just toe the line and do what's expected, which of course is really boring and is just based on the past and based on memory, and who wants that now, right? I mean, we're going into the Aquarian age. That's the sign that Uranus rules. We have got to think outside the box. So Jupiter is reminding us to smile. Neptune is reminding us to intuit, to feel. Mars is giving us the energy to act, and Uranus allows us to embrace the unexpected, so we are set free from those external expectations that can interfere so easily. So let's look at the tips and takeaways now, because these are really important due to the fact that dreams can come true now, and you want to focus your energy optimally towards what you want to have happen, not let it be left to chance. That is an unconscious way of living. So in the spirit of Jupiter and Neptune, whatever you see or experience has absolutely no consequence unless it creates an inner transformation. And Neptune wants us to transform, and Jupiter wants us to expand in a joyful way. So if something doesn't leave you transformed, it doesn't matter. So if you live your life according to, is this transforming me? Has this hidden note inside of me that rings true? That's the only thing that's important. Is it leaving me transformed or not? Meaning, am I evolving? Because transformation is about not sitting still, not being stuck. So the question is, am I evolving? Do I feel like this has taken me to a better place? Or am I just the same as always? So one example of a transformative experience is release. Neptune is about dissolving. Neptune rules the final sign, so it is about endings. So you're dissolving, whether it is a life or whether it is a habit, whether it is an old paradigm, an old belief, whatever it is, Neptune dissolves. And so it's dissolving in a happy way now with Jupiter, right? So let's say you want to dissolve the fueling of negativity, the fueling of fear in your life. There's no need to hold on to anger or fear or frustration. And it's also unnecessary to seek things as well. So there's no need to hold on to things you don't like. There's also no need to seek things that you want, like happiness and joy. Now, that may seem like a strange thing to say. All you need to do is spend time observing what is happening. So what this means is you want to find the source of joy, the source of blissfulness. You don't want to go seek it, like, I wish this would happen, or see it as something that is not part of your life right now, right? All you need to know is where the source is. For example, if you're going to write something on your computer, you need to find the keyboard, which is the source, in order to make that happen. So if you don't know where the keyboard is, the source is, then you're operating in darkness and you're basically creating chaos. So the transformation happens when you use the resources, the tools, and create miracles because you are consciously engaged in the creation process. So the transformation is about being a miracle generator. So the first thing you have to do is to cut out the misery. You got to cut out the fear. You got to cut out the anger. You just got to leave them be, because, look, when we are afraid, for example, about something in the future, our imagination just kicks in and we imagine the worst. And so we're using our tool, our imagination, in a way that is negative, because imagination is a wonderful tool. But how are you using it? So notice, observe, but stop using the keyboard, your tools, to create more of what feels miserable. Turn the page and use that same tool, your mind, your heart, to create joy. Create blissfulness. When you're on your keyboard, using that as a symbol, it can be used for many things. It's just a tool, just like a knife is a tool. It can be used to cut vegetables, or it can be used, to do something extremely negative. So in the same way, when you feel despondent, or you just can't, you feel like you're in this place of feeling incredibly dark, that is as accessible to you, because it is your imagination going there, as feeling incredibly joyful. So you need to find that joyful key and press that key on the keyboard. Keep your mind off the other options. Just pay attention and just use what it is you want. Now, if you're unaware and unconscious and you're moving a lot through life in that capacity, not even realizing that you have these tools, and you're using them just, by chance, you won't know what you're choosing. Okay, so that's the negative side of Neptune, is where you're in dreamland. You're just completely not in control. You are in a nebulous place and you are not consciously engaged. So you need to take charge of your mind, your feelings, your body, your energy. You need to stop wishing for things to happen. Wishful thinking is never gonna make anything happen. Wishing for things is not going to make those things appear as feelings and experiences in your life. You can't unconsciously go through life and expect good things to happen. You have to focus on those things that feel good, and then you will have optimal results. Because if you just go through life flailing about, then none of these optimal things will happen to you. It's like reading book after book after book about a subject that you want to engage in, but it's just wishful thinking. You just are, it's like hands-off kind of living. You're experiencing life through another author or through a guru or whatever it may be, but success doesn't come because of something that you desire and you start reading about it. And that's the essential meaning of the number 2 and 8. It comes because you're listening, you're engaging in what you've heard, And that gives you the competence to move forward, and that brings incredible balance into your life. And so you can't be taken off guard, and life isn't just happening. You're using your abilities to your maximum. You're performing beyond your limits, right? You have the courage, you have the balance, because you're not on autopilot. You're not on a program that's just moving through you, a program meaning something that's been inserted from the past through cultural or academia, whatever it may be. You're not on a program. You are consciously making decisions based on what is in front of you. So this connection between Jupiter and Neptune reminds us about that transformation that happens within you at every moment in time that you want to be engaged in. And this transformation is a phenomena that we can't understand. We can only engage in it. So we are here to experience the transformation. We're here to enhance our life for ourselves. We're here to enhance life beyond us. And that's about it. And all we need to get that done is sense and sensitivity, the courage and the ability to surrender to God, to Source, to the divine. The sensitivity will naturally come when you engage with life in an intuitive way. And the joy comes when you add that ingredient of joyful, experiential attention and move it away from fearful, miserable attention. So just remember that what is happening here and now is the only thing you need to focus on. Do not move to the future. Do not move to the past. Watch those programs that are in your mind. The only moment is the one you're experiencing now. That is all that matters. That is the process. That is the way. And that's how it's always been. So you might as well choose to enjoy it, right? Choose to make the most of it. Choose well. Don't be unconscious and not choose at all, because the choice will be made for you. So choose well and walk on that path of Neptune sextile Jupiter, where your dreams come true, where miracles and transformation inform your day-to-day activities. And this is truly being lit up from the inside, being a being of light. And that is how we want to move into the Aquarian age. This is how we want to end the Piscean age. This is how we choose to be present in a way that is so significant. And I don't mean in a way that is significant in terms of being known or being recognized. It has nothing to do with that. I mean being significant in terms of you are sending signals. Significant is about sending signals. And a significant person sends positive, uplifting, high vibrational, supportive, compassionate, sensitive, encouraging signals. So you are a signal. You are made of electricity. You emit all the time. So let's be conscious about what we are focusing on, what we are emitting, because we are emitting, right? We are alive. So this is an incredible opportunity to choose what is good, what is uplifting, and what is supporting us in our wonderful journey here on Earth at this time. And again, it's a wonderful opportunity to know your soul code, to know your numbers and your star code. Just go to starcodeclass.com for that free masterclass I created for you. It'll help you just hone in on who you are at soul level, what you're here to do, what your destiny is. It's wonderful because it's sacred geometry. It is a science, and the divination arts are here for all of us to benefit from. It's not just for royalty and leaders and behind the scenes. It's for us, all of us. So partake in it. Choose to understand how you are born to create greatness. and what your specific gifts are, your specific talents. So go to starcodeclass.com and enjoy this wonderful time that we're living in right now. Have a wonderful February, and I will see you in next week's Star Code.